Today's tutorial will walk you through how to register products in the distributor system. In the main menu, the products section is divided into two categories: products and tiles. We've already covered tiles in a previous video. Click the card above to watch that tutorial. On the products page, you can register a wide range of items including sinks, faucets, cooktops, cabinets, mirrors, and even slabs. Before getting started, go to the products setup page. Here, you only need to configure the product type field. This is where you define product categories, making it easier to identify items during registration. Click New, enter the category name, and then click Save. And here it is. The remaining options are intended for users with QuickBooks integration. Now, back in the Products section, click New Product to begin. I'll register a sink as an example. Enter the product name. In this case, I'll name it Double Bowl Sink. In Product Type, select the appropriate category. You can also create a new one here if you skip the setup step. Choose the supplier. In the status field, you can set the product as active or inactive. The register date is filled in automatically. You may also enter a similar code. The average cost is automatically calculated based on purchase records. Enter the sales price. In default description, add a short description that will appear in quotes or invoices. Select a location. These options are created in the inventory setup page. The material field can be used if the product is associated with a material already registered in the system. For example, if the product is made from Agatha Black, you can select it here. You can also register slabs through the products page, but keep in mind that it offers less control compared to the inventory module. The front-end description is used for your website. This is the detailed description customers will see when viewing the product. You can also format and customize the content as needed. You can upload images only after saving the product. Before saving, avoid entering any available quantity. If you do and later link the product to a container, the quantity may be duplicated, resulting in duplicate entries under expense. If you do not plan to link a container, you can enter the quantity without any issues. In this case, I will link the product to a container, so I'll leave the quantity field empty and save the information entered so far. Here in the expense field, nothing was recorded. However, if we had entered a quantity or linked the product to a container, a record would appear. Let me show you an example. I registered another sink and entered a quantity of 200 units before linking it to a container. Then I added a container with the same quantity, bringing the total to 400 units. Here, under Expense, you can see both records, one entered manually and the other linked to a container. Now click Choose Photos to upload one or more images. Next, click Add to Container. You can either select an existing container or click Add New to create one. When creating a container, make sure the supplier matches the one assigned to this product. Enter the container number and name, then select the expected date. Click Save to finish. After that, enter the purchased quantity and unit cost. Then click Save again. And just like that, the quantity will appear here. At the bottom of the page, you'll find the Income and Expense sections. Income displays all sales, meaning any invoices where this product was included. In Expense, when you add a container with quantity and purchase cost, the system records the purchase of this product. And from here, you can access the linked container page. On the container page, you can complete additional purchase details and add bundles, other products, extra costs, like the one I added here, payments, and documents. Now, I'll add this sink to an invoice so you can see how it appears in the Income section. Go to the main menu, click on Order, and then select List of Orders. From here, you can either choose an existing invoice or create a new one. I'll select an existing one. In the Item Details tab, you can see that I've added 3 units of the Double Bowl Sink to this invoice. After adding the item, don't forget to click Save and return to the List of Products page. Now, when we open the product page, the invoice appears under Income, just like the container appears under Expense. Back to the list of products page, you can view all registered products. You can also use the search filter at the top of the page. If you want to refine your search, click on More Filters and then Apply. Under Reports, you can export complete and detailed product reports, and you can export reports from the income and expense sections. Still on the list of products page, clicking the image icon allows you to preview the product image. You can also view key information such as name, supplier, and sales price. In Options, you can activate or deactivate the product by clicking the check icon. When active, it appears green. When inactive, it turns red. The duplicate icon allows you to clone the product. The pencil icon lets you edit the product information at any time. And the trash icon allows you to delete the product. Click Yes to confirm. Once deleted, the product is completely removed from your list. Finally, by clicking the settings icon on the right side of the screen, you can choose which columns to display or hide in the list of products, such as image, registration date, and name. That's it for today. If you want to see how SlabWare can help you organize and grow your stone business, visit SlabWare.com and start your free trial today. If you have any questions, our support team is ready to help. Follow the channel, turn on notifications, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. See you in the next tutorial, folks!